Hello scrapbooking ladies, I'm coming to you today with just a quick video. I entered some cards that I recently made to try out for a design team that they're looking for card makers, and there was just a couple of techniques and ideas that I used on my cards that I thought might be of help to you other scrapbookers out there. And the first thing is I took a sentiment stamp, and it is this stamp here. It says, "You make my life sweeter," and I didn't have room on my card for a sentiment that long, but I thought this would be a really cute sentiment to use. So I just took my punch out here, and then I just inked up the portions of the stamp and stamped it out. And I find when I'm stamping on texture cardstock that I have a hard time getting a good solid impression to make it look really nice, so I just turn it over on the smooth side, and that's how I find it much easier to stamp. So I'm going to show you just how I inked up just portions of the stamp. So first I started with the "You Make," and I just stamped that on the very top of the scalloped oval. So it looks like that. And then just wipe off that portion of the stamp, and then you need to just ink up the next section, which is "My Life." And if for some reason you get some ink on a portion of the block you don't want, or word, all you have to do is take a baby wipe carefully, or your finger, and you can just rub the ink away that you don't want. So now I'm going to stamp the words "My Life" in the middle of my scalloped oval. So there's the "My Life." And then I will clean those words off and then add the last word, which is "sweeter," in that sentiment. And like I said, if you get a little bit of ink where you don't want it, you can just take your finger and wipe it off. So I'm stamping this in the bottom section of my scalloped oval. So here is what I added to my card. And then I like to ink around the edges of my sentiments just to kind of make them stand out. And I really didn't have an ink pad that was the correct color for this particular card. So what I did is I just took my Spectrum Noir markers, and I don't usually use the chisel tip for anything. So what I did was, with the chisel tip, I just carefully took the edge of it and just kind of went around very carefully with that chisel tip around the edges of the scallops, because then it just adds just a little color and kind of makes it stand out from your card, and also gives it just a little bit more added dimension. So if that's just another helpful little tip, if you don't have the right color of ink pad, you can just take your markers, and with the chisel tip you can just add a little color around your sentiment. And then the other thing I was going to show you how to do is they wanted you to use die cuts in your cards, and I decided to add some chipboard on the card that I did for my blog post, and for entering into the design team. There were hearts, but I'm going to show you guys how to do this with some chipboard leaves. So what I did is I took my distress ink pad, and for this one I'm going to use the new Mowed Lawn, and I just inked up really good the chipboard. And this is just kind of making a fun embellishment for a card that kind of helps your card give it some pizzazz and kind of pop off the page a little bit, because it just gives it some extra added dimension. So I've inked it up really good with the Mowed Lawn, and it doesn't take too long for the ink to dry. And then you take your Versamark pad and push down the embellishment really good into your Versamark pad so it's all really nice and sticky and shiny. And then I'm using ultra thick embossing enamel, which is UTEE, and I have some tweezers, and I just dip my embellishment all over in the UTEE, and then just kind of carefully shake it off. So this is what you have, and this is going to kind of be noisy, but you just take your heat gun and you melt the UTEE. It takes a little bit for the heat gun to heat up and for the UTEE to all melt. And then you'll see the UTEE start to get really clear and shiny. And then what you do is you take and you dip it while it's still hot in the UTEE again. And if for some reason it cools off before you can get it put back in the UTEE, you can just warm it up again. And then you stick it in a second time and heat it up, and then put it in your UTEE again. And I usually like to do this, about like 3 times is what I find the most helpful. And then you just let it dry, and you have this wonderful super glossy embellishment to add on your card, and it just gives it a lot of pizzazz and really makes your design pop. So I hope you ladies enjoyed this quick tutorial on how to make some shiny glossy embellishments for your cards. And you can also even take silk flowers or paper fabric flower, not fabric, but like I Am Roses or like a Prima flower like this, and dab it in Versamark or embossing ink and use the ultra thick embossing enamel, the UTEE, on it, and you will get like this acrylic looking like flower. I have done that before, and it's really beautiful to add to projects and cards. So thank you for watching, and have a nice day.